upon the annals of time. One thing that comes through, we are not alone in this universe. It's a thought that rings true. Ancient cave dwellers drew spacecraft on the walls. It's a recurring theme. I've seen the same thing while walking late at night, and I know it's not a dream.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadows dance and deceive.
If you tell the truth, they will ridicule everything you say and do. It's all part of a deception. It's a puppet master's tool. And I've seen those craft shut down up to silos from 10 miles away. And there ain't nothing that the Pentagon can do. They can't make them go away.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadows dance and deceive. From Maelstrom to Manhattan, New York to LA, you can't get the picture if they're pale or they're gray. But what we have seen might not be what it seems when the government's shadows dance and deceive.
There are competing agendas to determine mankind's fate. Their influence here for millions of years, all part of a cosmic state. Lemuria, Atlantis, and Dwaka view, all part of Earth's history. And spacecraft and stargates are really nothing new. They're all part of a lost memory.
From Maelstrom to Manhattan, Paris to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadows dance and deceive.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
Well, I am back. Now I'm going to try to get a hold of my guests. I've been trying to get a hold of them, and so far I've had no luck. So let's see if this does it now. Let's see. Monday night, 7:02 p.m. Pacific West Coast time.
Hello?
Hi, Tom. Gary from Night Dreams Talk Radio. How you doing, my friend?
Gary, how are you? I've been having some phone issues, and I'm going to take you from my kitchen up to my computer room. So bear with me about 15 seconds, okay?
I'll give you more than 15 seconds. That is Tom from Metatron Power and Light. They're a local band. I've been playing their bumper music quite a bit here the last couple of days on the show. The song I've been playing is called Disclosure, and I tell you, it really does hit home if you listen to the words of the song. And hopefully that gave him enough time to get where he was supposed to get.
I am here. I'm ready.
You're here. Well, I told everybody a little bit about you, but let's talk about you. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you?
Okay. I grew up in Seattle, Washington. I attended Ingram and Garfield high schools. I have been playing instruments since I was in my early teens. I'm 70 years old.
Young 70.
And get into the recording business a little bit later in life. But the reason for that is that when I started out, you do what's called experimentation, and you basically try to find people that you're compatible with and that you're on the same wavelength with. And I have been extremely fortunate in that when I was doing some studio work in North Seattle, I needed a session drummer, and I met Corey Fish. And Corey and I, as soon as we met, became fast friends. Corey is a very cerebral, spiritual, talented individual. When he started talking about the fact that he got kicked out of a school in Andromeda, I knew I liked him.
Oh, wow. So,
the other band members are Charlie Gould and Val Von Torn. Let me get back to Corey a little bit. He grew up in Seattle, Washington, and when he was in his late teens, he moved to Los Angeles. He's been playing percussion for a very long time. He played with the band Arrow, and they session work for various artists. Charlie Gould was born and raised in Arizona in a place called Tubac. He lived next to a mountain range, which wasn't the Superstitions, and I can't pronounce it correctly. So Charlie, I know, will forgive me for that. But he told me that there was I'll call it a vibration that would emanate from this mountain range. It was almost as though it was haunted. And once a year, he would see this light that would come to the top of this range. And it was like a beacon almost that basically emanated down to the mountain itself. And he said, Tom, every Halloween, I would think about that mountain range and the different things that were there. And one thing that's really a lot of fun is I went from recording in North Seattle to a studio that Charlie has. And I thoroughly enjoy that because every time I go down there, Charlie and I, instead of being in a rush and having to sit up and start singing, we'll sit down for an hour, we'll have a cup of coffee, and we will talk about everything from Graham Hancock to Alfred Krzyzewski, Gurdjieff, Sitchin, Tesla. We have a lot of fun. So that's pretty much the encapsulated version of who Charlie Gould is. Val Von Torn is my female counterpart. I have never had the privilege of meeting her. We're going to have a dinner on Patriot Day down in the Olympia area, and we're going to get the hard copies of our new album, of which you're going to get a copy. And Val has been, she's started in her early 20s, I believe, with a band. She has played with both Charlie and Corey. She is probably one of the best vocalists that I've ever had the privilege of working with. I think that she counterbalances me because she actually has a beautiful range, and where I used to have range over now, so Now instead of range, I have character.
Well, that all happens.
But what we're doing is basically engaging in those subjects that not a lot of people talk about. Fortunately, you do have a great show where you have people coming on that are not afraid to discuss, excuse me, those things that the masses may or may not be talking about. If they're talking about them, they're usually talking about them in private because they don't want to have people think that they're aberrated. But all of us, Charlie, Corey, and Val, all have extensional outlooks on the universe. We realize that there is more than one reality out there. And I think if you were going to encapsulate why we do what we do, it would be because we're attempting to wake people up and get them to be aware of what is going on around them. And that's why we sing about the UFO phenomenon. We sing about shapeshifters, witchcraft, and a plethora of other things. And we've just basically gotten started. Our first album took us not quite a year to do. We're already starting to work on our second one. And there's this radio talk show host that I just became friends with that I'm trying to put together a theme song for.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
Gee, I wonder.
No, I wonder too. I can't wait for it. I got to ask you a question, though, Tom. What got you into this song, Disclosure? Because, if you really listen to it, it really says a lot. And I've gotten a lot of comments from my listeners already that saying that, wow, this is the best song they've ever heard.
Wow. Well, that's great. I'm happy that they're enjoying it. Disclosure was something, okay, Corey, Val, and Charlie have all had experiences with either the UFO phenomenon, which is more than one thing, or the paranormal. And I remember one night, there's actually a verse in that song where it talks about, I was walking out, I had this absolutely beautiful American Thunder Shepherd named Magnum. It was about 2 a.m. I just finished watching a movie. This was probably about 12 years ago. And so we go out it was a warm August night, and I'm walking out in this open area. I've got a field in back of my house. So Magnum and I were walking out there, and all of a sudden, off on my left side, there was this object, and it looked like a layer cake on top of a platter. It was fluorescent green, and for about 3 to 5 seconds, it flew right by my upper left-hand side. It made a zigzag down into the eastern horizon and went out of sight. And I had a major WTF moment. And I went, whoa. And, I had a friend of mine. I was over in eastern Washington, and he said, hey, do you want to have some fun? And I said, sure. Well, he had these night vision goggles. Uh-oh. So he took them out, and we put them on, and he said, I want you to look up there a bit, because up there, I have some property that's 6,000 feet above sea level, and it's crystal clear, and there is no light pollution. So I put these things on, and I could see these little objects flying around up there, and I'm going, whoa, what is that? So, there's over the years I've read a lot about the phenomenon. It's more than one thing. I had the pleasure of doing some I'll call it paranormal research with a lady by the name of Dr. Ida Rose Barber. I think any vestige of civilization that I have, I can thank her for. And she was a student of a man by the name of Alfred Krzyzewski, who formulated the neuroscience of general semantics, which is basically a way of using your nervous system to its maximum. And he had asked her to do research into human motivation. And so over the years, she developed a technique where she could take people and put them in what I call an elevated alpha state and send them along various streams of consciousness to various aspects, be it past lives, be it, viewing things that were surrounding us that you can't see. And I had the privilege of working with her for over 7 years. so that really developed a keen interest in the paranormal and things